Hello everyone, welcome back to EduTap and welcome to the Finance Current Affairs session. In this session, we are going to discuss two very important news articles of finance. The first one is regarding the UCO Bank that has become the first bank to get the RBI's approval for the international trade settlement in rupees. So what is this international trade settlement in rupees? Which is the partner bank of UCO Bank, and which country's bank it is that has become the partner bank. All of this we are going to discuss in today's session, as well as these two news articles that we are going to discuss today is very important. They are very important because direct questions can be asked in RBI grade B, in NABARD grade A, in SEBI grade A, okay, from such news articles. And I can tell you that what kind of questions can come from these news articles, okay, so that you will easily be able to answer by the end of the session. The second news article is regarding the TerraPay that has collaborated with NPCI, and this can lead the UPI payments to another level. So we will understand that how TerraPay that has collaborated with NPCI can become such an important stepping stone for the UPI. Okay. So now before starting with this two news articles, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are new to the channel and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of this session. And you can get the link of the Telegram channel in the description box below. So now starting with the first news article, that is the UCO Bank becomes the first lender to get the RBI's approval for the international trade settlement in rupees. So see, the RBI has already released the notification regarding the international trade settlement in Indian rupees in July 2022. So what was happening that the international trade settlement, it happens in dollars because all the countries, they have a trust on dollars. It is a very strong currency in the international terms. So the international trade settlements, it happens in dollars. But what happens that during this time you can see that the Indian currency is depreciating. The rupees is depreciating very fast, and the dollar is becoming more and more and more and more strong. It is becoming stronger and stronger. So the India decided that why not to settle the international trade in Indian rupees. As well as what was happening that there were many countries that were imposing the sanctions, that were imposing the restrictions on the trade with Russia. But India, it wants to continue the trade with Russia. And if India trades with Russia in dollars, so the US will easily know that okay, this much of the trade is happening from India with Russia. This much of payments is happening from India to Russia. So we do not want the US to look at each and every payment that we are doing. So the India decided that why not cancel these dollars, okay, because the dollars, if the transactions is happening in dollars, it is easy to track for US. But what if we do the payments in rupees? Then it won't be easily trackable, okay, no one will be able to track because the rupees is of India. So the India decided that why not trade with Russia in rupees. Okay, then even if the sanctions are imposed, even if the India is not able to use the dollars for the trade with Russia, the India can use the dollars, the rupees. Okay, so the international trade settlement can happen in Indian rupees. So the public sector lender, the UCO Bank, which is a public sector bank, it has received the Reserve Bank of India's approval to open a special Vostro account. So what is this special Vostro account? This we will understand in depth. Now this special Vostro account is of the Gazprom Bank of Russia. Now let me tell you that the Gazprom Bank is a very important bank of Russia. It is among the top 3 banks of Russia. Okay. So the UCO Bank has received the special permission from the Reserve Bank of India, and it has become the first bank that will open a special Vostro account, and the special Vostro account is of Gazprom Bank of Russia. Now this special Vostro account is opened for the trade settlement in Indian rupees, so that the trade can be settled in Indian rupees. The trade that is happening with Russia, that can settle in Indian rupees. So the Kolkata based lender, that is the UCO Bank, which is Kolkata based. This bank is the first bank to receive the regulators RBI's approval following the RBI's decision to allow the Indian banks to settle the international trade in Indian currency. So in July, this has been decided that the international trade settlement can happen in Indian rupees. Okay. So I have already discussed with you in depth regarding this notification that the international trade settlement that can happen in Indian rupees. So I will provide you the link of this session in the description box below that you can see. Here we will understand this special Vostro account in terms of the Gazprom Bank and UCO Bank. Okay. So starting with the process of the special Vostro account. See, first let's understand the Vostro account. So if a Russian bank, because here we are understanding about the Gazprom bank. So if a Russian bank wants to maintain an account with an Indian bank. So here the Gazprom bank, that is a foreign bank, that is a Russian bank that wants to maintain an account with the Indian bank, that is the UCO bank. So the Gazprom bank will maintain an account in the UCO bank. So this account will be maintained in rupees, and such an account that is maintained in Indian rupees, okay, that is maintained in Indian rupees at an Indian center, this is called as Vostro account by the Indian bank. Okay, for the Indian bank it is a Vostro account, and for the Russian bank it is a Nostro account. Okay, so for a foreign bank, the foreign bank that is opening a account in the Indian bank in the Indian rupees, that account is Nostro account for the foreigners, for the foreign bank, and it is a Vostro account for the Indian bank and the Indians. Okay, so I hope you have understood the difference between the Vostro and Nostro. Very minor difference there is. Okay. So now coming to the special. So why this Vostro account that is opened by the Gazprom Bank and UCO Bank, why this Vostro account is known as special Vostro account? So this Vostro account is known as special Vostro account because it is for the special purpose of settlement of trade transactions. Okay, this Vostro account is opened with a special uh, purpose, that is to settle the trade transaction in Indian rupees. So the UCO bank is an authorized dealer bank. Authorized dealer banks are those banks that can transact or that can trade in foreign currencies also. Okay, so the UCO bank is an authorized dealer bank that can trade in foreign currencies also. So authorized dealer bank of India, that is UCO bank, can open the special, it has opened the special Vostro rupee Vostro account. So it has got the permission from the RBI to open the special rupee Vostro account of the correspondent bank, that is Gazprom bank here. The partner trading country is which? It is Russia. So the trade settlement, the international trade transaction settlement can happen in rupees because the UCO bank has opened this, it has got the permission to open the special rupee Vostro account of the Gazprom bank of the Russia. So now how this special rupee Vostro account will work? So the Indian importers, that are undertaking imports, that are doing the imports from the Russia. Okay, so the Indian importers that are taking the imports from Russia, through this mechanism they can pay in INR, they can pay in Indian rupees. So the Indian importers will be paying in rupees. Before, what were they doing? They were used to exchange the rupees for the dollars, and they had to pay in dollars. But now the Indian importers do not have to pay in dollars. Now they can directly pay in rupees. The Indian importers can pay in rupees. This rupees will go to the special Vostro account of the Gazprom bank, and this Gazprom bank, this will be paying in Russian currency to the Russian exporters. Okay, so the Russian exporters will get the Russian currency, and the Indian importers will be paying in rupees. The Indian exporters, so now the Indian exporters undertaking the export of the goods and services. So the Indian exporters, now the Russian importers, now the Russian importers will be paying to the Gazprom bank the Russian currency. Okay, because the Russian importers are the ones that are importing. Okay, so the Russian importers will be paying to the Gazprom bank the Russian currency, and this Russian currency will be converted by the Gazprom bank. This will be kept by the Gazprom bank, and the Gazprom bank will use the money that has been accumulated in rupees in the special Vostro account to pay to the Indian exporters. Okay, so the Indian export sorry, so the Indian importers are paying in rupees. Let's say they are paying rupees 100. So the Gazprom bank is keeping this rupees 100 in the special Vostro account, and the Gazprom bank is paying in Russian currency to Russian exporters. So this rupees 100 that is kept in the special Vostro account of the Gazprom bank, this can be used to pay to the Indian exporters. Okay. So the goods and services that has been exported from India by the Russians, that can be paid in the INR to the Indian exporters. So the Indian exporters are getting the payments in rupees, and the Indian importers are giving the payments in rupees. The dollars are not used in this whole payment of the Indian by the Indian importers or the payment to the Indian exporters. So you can see the dollars has been not used in the whole process, in the whole settlement of the trade transactions. Okay, so the Russia and the India both are not using the dollars, they are using their own currencies. Okay, so here, so now you will say that what happens to the surplus balance. Let's say the special Vostro account has rupees 100, but the exporters, the importers, the Indian importers, they are importing more from Russia and they are paying rupees 100, but the Indian exporters, they are only providing the goods and services of rupees 50. So the Indian exporters are only getting rupees 50 from this special Vostro account. So what will happen with this surplus balance, that is rupees 50, that is left in the special Vostro account. This rupees 50 is left in the special Vostro account. So the rupee surplus balance that is held in the special Vostro account, this can be used for the capital transaction or the current account transaction. Okay, that is, this can be used, the money can be used for the investments, for the loan. Okay, that is for the capital transactions, this money can be used. So here you can see that the rupee surplus account, the current account transaction, the payments can be made for the projects, for the investments, the export import advance flow management can happen, the investment can happen in the government treasury bills and such and such. So this money can be used for different purposes. Now moving to the second news article, that is the TerraPay has collaborated with the NPCI for the merchant payments through the UPI enabled QR codes. So see, first of all, what this TerraPay is. This TerraPay is a global payments highway. This provides the infrastructure. Okay, this provides the infrastructure. This has collaborated. This is a leading global partner. This has partnered with banks. This has the TerraPay has partnered with different mobile wallets. This has partnered with different mobile transfer operators, with the merchants, financial institutions, creating a global payments ecosystem that supports a wide range of diverse payment types and instruments. Because this TerraPay has collaborated, this has partnered with so many different money transfer apps. This has partnered with different operators, different banks. So this has provided for a global ecosystem, payments ecosystem, and this TerraPay is registered and regulated across 26 global markets. So you can understand that the NPCI is collaborating, the NPCI's international arm, that is the NIPL, is collaborating with the TerraPay for the UPI, so that the UPI can even go to those 26 global markets through the TerraPay. Okay, so the TerraPay is a leading global payments infrastructure group, and this announced its partnership with the NPCI's NPCI International Payments Limited, that is the NPCI's international arm, NIPL. Okay, so this association with NIPL will allow the Indian customers and merchants in India with an active UPI ID. So the Indian customers that have active UPI ID, they can make and accept cross-border payments seamlessly by leveraging TerraPay's agile infrastructure and the UPI network. So through the UPI network, collaborating with the TerraPay's infrastructure, they both are coming together so that the Indian customers can have access to the 26 global markets through the UPI. They can make the payments, they can accept the payments. Okay, in this intended collaboration, both companies will work together to further empower the Indian customers with active UPI IDs, that is 350 million bank accounts, to be able to transact at QR locations enabled by TerraPay globally. So the QR location, see the TerraPay 26 global markets are where the TerraPay has its infrastructure. So TerraPay can use its infrastructure to make the UPI payments enabled at those 26 global markets. So the UPI payments will increase manifold if this is used, because there are the Indian people that go to the visits abroad and they can use the UPI apps directly to pay. Okay, so the QR locations that is enabled by TerraPay, that can be used by the customers, the Indian customers, the Indian people can use it, and the UPI can go to those 26 global markets through the TerraPay infrastructure. So you just have to remember here that the NPCI's international arm has collaborated with TerraPay for the infrastructure that the TerraPay provides. Okay, and this is specially to boost the UPI enabled QR codes, to boost the UPI payments. Okay, so you can understand that this will give a different level of boost to the UPI, to bring the UPI to the global markets. So now this is the first question that you can easily answer, I hope. And this is the second question. Again, I hope you can easily answer this question. These were the people that gave the right answer of the previous session question. It was Arpita, Maddie, Vardhaman, Abhishek and Raftar. Thank you very much everyone. This you can mail us here if you have any query. If you want to ask anything, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Thank you very much everyone.